Welcome to my Home Growers series, where I share my recipes and techs used to grow mushrooms at home. This episode is a step-by-step on how to make sterilized grain bags using whole oats. To start, measure out about 12 pounds of grain into a 5-gallon bucket. Fill to the brim with water. Measure out 4 to 6 tablespoons of gypsum powder and add into mixture. Let grain soak for 18 to 24 hours. Pour mixture into a large pot. I use my pressure cooker pot. This is enough to make 6 3-pound 4T unicorn bags, which fits perfectly into a 23-quart Presto pressure cooker when it comes time to sterilize. Place your pot on a burner and set to high to bring to a simmer. Stir periodically and more frequently as the temperature rises. At around 90 C or as the simmer starts to transition into more of a boil. Use a colander to strain the grains and move them back into the 5-gallon bucket. I like to retain the grain water for hydrating substrate later. Next, dry the grains on a mesh rack or racks. Alternating scoops so grains with varying moisture levels are evenly distributed. Flatten them out on racks for high and even surface area. Mix every 10 minutes until grains dry enough to pour like sand. No sheen, no clumps, no dripping. They should look more dry than wet. Depending on outside temp and humidity, this can take around 30 minutes to over an hour. They need to be hydrated enough to support mycelial growth but not so wet that they turn mushy or pool water in the bag jar. Transfer dry grains back in a 5-gallon bucket, again alternating scoops for each rack. Set bucket aside and prepare your pressure cooker or autoclave for sterilization. In a 23-quart Presto, add 1 liter for each hour of sterilization, which comes out to about 3 liters of water. Place pressure cooker on burner and turn the heat on high. Place the bottom trivet into the pot and loosely fit the lid onto the pot. While the pressure cooker is heating up, prepare to fill and weigh out your grain bags. Tear the weight of a bag off your scale. Fluff the bag open and scoop in 3 pounds of hydrated grain, weighing and gently compacting the grains towards the bottom of the bag as you go. Align the gussets at the top of the bag and fold over the opposite side of the filter patch. Repeat this process until you have 6 bags of grain. When compared to preparing agar plates, substrate, and liquid culture, making sterilized grain bags is probably the most laborious of them all. There are a lot of no-soak, no-simmer methods that cut out a lot of the steps in this video, and they work. But I prefer this method as I believe it yields the most consistent and reliable results. If you don't have access to a pressure cooker, flow, hoop, or other supplies used in this video, know there are alternative and home-friendly ways to achieve this process. For example, bags can be substituted with jars and modified lids, and an instant pot can be used in place of a pressure cooker. After filling all 6 bags, carefully lift off the lid and arrange them into the preheated pressure cooker, so the filter patch is facing out towards the walls of the pot. Place top trivet over the bags and secure the lid to the pressure cooker, making sure the pressure regulator is removed. Allow pressure to build. Once the safety valve pops, place the pressure regulator on top of its fitting. Allow pressure to build to 15 psi or until the pressure regulator begins rocking. Reduce heat so the pressure regulator is barely rocking and set timer for 3 hours. Once the sterilization cycle is completed, carefully place the pressure cooker in front of your flow and so only clean air is pulled into the pressure cooker while it cools and depressurizes. Once cooled, remove and set aside the lid and top trivet. Carefully remove a bag and lay the open end flat across the ceiling. Strip, making sure the gussets are aligned and there are no folds or wrinkles that could compromise the seal. Lower the sealing arm firmly onto the bag and hold it closed. Continue to hold it closed 3 to 5 seconds after the heat cycle is complete. Inspect the seal, ensuring there's a smooth bond without bubbles, holes, or gaps. Repeat until all 6 bags are sealed. Bags can be inoculated once cooled to room temperature or stored in a refrigerator for later use. Feel free to message me with questions or more information on beginner-friendly alternatives. Thanks for watching, and until next time on the Home Growers series.